All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the alaracanfieldshow, the Awaken to Happiness Now Global Series, Season 31. Thank you so much for being here with us. This is Season 31, the winter-spring 2023 season. And we've been doing this for so long, it's hard to remember how long we've been doing this, but since 2013, May, I think it was that we started. But I want to thank you all for being here. And if you are new, my intention, my desire, my wish is for you to receive energies, frequencies, vibrations, wisdom, support, resources, so that you can live your best life, so that you can get out of struggle and into thriving, so that you can transform from, being miserable and stuck to really living your best life. And so I'm blessed and grateful to have these wonderful speakers joining me 2 or 3 times a week as they share their wisdom, their teachings, their energies, frequencies, and processes. And it's so much fun. I always have so much fun. I know you do too. And just be willing to receive from each of them. So if you are new and you haven't subscribed yet to my YouTube channel, please do. If you're watching this live or on replay on YouTube, please do subscribe and hit the bell so that you're notified of when we have live shows. Normally every Tuesday, Thursday, sometimes Wednesday. There's always something coming up, right? So please do join us. So today, I'm so excited. My good friend, Lisa Barnett, is back with us. And today we are talking about your soul has a plan. It's written in your Akashic Record. So I'm so excited to talk about this and to talk to Lisa. We always have so much fun. We've already started before we went live. So some of what we're going to discuss today on the call includes understanding the plan that your soul made before we came, how you can update your Akashic Record, why we make challenging soul contracts and how to know when they're complete, if we can really complete karma and live a happy life. Plus, you're going to be receiving healing, clearing, and energy transmissions from the Akashic Masters. We're going to be taking live caller questions and, just going to really delve deep into this topic of soul plan and how your soul has a plan, right? And that it's written in the Akashic Records. A lot of times people ask the question, what is my soul purpose? I don't know what my soul purpose is. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Why am I here? Etc. So we're going to talk a little bit about all of that, but please do join me in welcoming Lisa to the show. I'm so glad you're here, Lisa.
Thank you, Alara. It's always fun to be back with you. And I'm really excited because my new book, Your Soul Has a Plan, I have to try and hold it so it doesn't fade out. I just launched yesterday, which I'm thrilled to be here and get to talk more about it and share it and the wisdom that I channeled from the Akashic Record Keepers into this book. It's my 3rd book now, so thrilled to be bringing out my 3rd book this year and to be with you again, which we've been doing this for a lot of years, probably since almost your beginning, right? In 2013?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm so excited for your new book. I tried to order it for myself, but it's not available yet here in Austria, but I know that it will be eventually because I bought the other books, so I'm looking forward to ordering it for myself because I love you. I love your books. I have all of your books, right? So I'm so excited for you. And it's such a pleasure and honor for me to have you come on the show over and over again and share your wisdom, share your teachings, share your energy, share your love. And I know how, this book especially, it's so relevant right now. And people, especially after the past couple of years that we've had so many difficulties, people are having these questions. And I think this year, especially, people are like, okay, let's get a move on. What am I supposed to be doing? What is my soul plan and purpose? Why did I come here? And now it's like they're starting to breathe some fresh air into their being, I think. And, it's like they want the answers, right? They have the questions, they want the answers.
Right. It's time. It is. I completely agree. And it's almost, I'm going to go into a divine timing kind of story because I started this book almost 2.5 years ago. And both of my other 2 books were, the first one I probably wrote super quickly, and then it took almost a year to get through. I had a publishing house, regular old-fashioned publishing, which isn't nearly as quick. So that was another year. But the second book I did, through a hybrid publishing. So it was written and out in the world in less than a year. So when this one was taking longer, I kept asking the record keepers, because that's the great gift and blessing to me of having access into your own Akashic records. And I kept saying, what's up? Should I really be working on this? I'm just not drawn to focus on it right now, and they just kept saying, no worries, divine timing. It will happen as it is in the highest and best good for all. And now I see that often it's easier, I think, for us to see it in hindsight.
Yeah.
But I knew it and felt it as it was going along. And even I could have launched it back in probably October, November of 2022. But I was getting, no, just wait to the end of January. That is kind of the timing. And this, I know today in Vedic astrology is a very auspicious day. And so I feel like it just divine, perfect, auspicious timing. So.
Absolutely. And sometimes we who are recovering control freaks, we don't like the phrase divine timing. We're like, we wanted it yesterday. I remember the weekend that you were working on this book, when you were writing this book. I remember that weekend because I talked to you like right before that, right? We were talking and you were telling me where you're going to be and writing that weekend. So yes, it has taken a bit of time, but the thing is, and I know for myself too, sometimes divine timing, I used to fight it in the past, but now it's like I go with the flow. It's like, all right, well, there's a reason, there's a purpose, and when it finally does work out, it's going to be more magical than it would have been if I tried to force it, right?
Exactly.
And so part of that is the trusting in the universe, also trusting in your guides, right? So when you went into the Akashic Record, they said, wait, and they're like, all right, fine, I'm going to wait. So I'm going to trust that when it is the right time, they will let me know, or I will ask them again. They'll say, yes, this is the right time, and go ahead. And so, and part of that is, it's true. It's like the timing with regards to the stars, the planets, what's happening, with consciousness and humanity, where we're at now. Because in the past 2 years, when we were struggling with, COVID issues and lockdowns, etc., we may not have been open to receiving this message. Right. Because we were so confused and, etc. Now, since we are able to like really look at life again with fresh eyes, it's like, yeah, I want to know, right? What's going on? What did my soul have a plan? What is my soul truly saying? I don't know, but let me find out. And so LL says today is Mother Saraswati Day, who is the mother of wisdom, divine timing, and yeah, absolutely. And reading, learning, teaching.
I love it. I know. I just love it because, it really is that. And so it's almost like the world likes to step up and yes, prove to us recovering control freaks that it really works, that divine timing really is divine. And, here it is, without me even knowing that I was launching my book right here with it. Timing is very much energetic, especially when you look at, astrology and things like that. They give it a date, but it's usually at least 3 days, right? The day before and the day after that date. And so, here it is in this beautiful auspicious day, and I completely and utterly agree that we had to almost go through this whole last few years and our traumas and our dramas and our being locked down and feeling stuck and railing against everything and or nothing or giving it up. We all have had really interesting different experiences too. I laugh about these last few really, COVID lockdown years, because I traveled more in those 2 years than I ever did. And I'm a big traveler, but I went to 3 different pyramid systems and 3 different continents in 9 months. I've never been to three, really, I was in Egypt, I was in the Yucatan and in Mexico, and then I was in Europe, in Bosnia and Croatia in 9 months. Never have I done that much international. I'm running to San Diego this weekend for an event, and I'll be back in LA and back in San Francisco. I mean, that's one thing, but Egypt to Mexico to Bosnia and Croatia. So for me, it was the best time to travel in the world for me. And many people haven't left home in years and years and years now. So
that's true.
That's the uniqueness and part of our soul's plan. And part of my soul's plan is to help activate different sacred sites around the world. So I was actually energetically moving pyramid codes from pyramid to pyramid around the world. All right. So we have small, more human plans, and we have really big plans that have more to do with the collective or the world. So what the record keepers really want us to understand, and the reason that they wanted me to write this book now, is because there are so many people waking up, right, after just, going through their lives for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, right, just kind of doing the human thing, working, having families, struggling with finances, whatever our story is, right? And kind of the COVID lockdown energy gave so many of us time to meditate and to contemplate and to not waste hours a day in a car or, on a train, whatever that was. And so it has, and the vibration, and this is again, much more astrologically connected. We are now in a beautiful alignment to the galactic core, and our dear Mother Earth is awakening. So that means we all have to awaken, because we're riding on a being that is awakened. So we are waking up, no matter what it looks like on the news. We are waking up. And so that is so much the point of helping people to understand that we're not victims, that life is not random, and that your soul made a plan for you in many, many ways before you decided to embody.
Yeah. So we all have a plan, right? So let's just stipulate that we all have a plan. We all, our soul has a plan for this lifetime. Yes. But how can we, by knowing it, I can't even formulate the sentence, how can that help us? If we know our soul plan, how can it help us? I mean, logically, you would think that if I know what my soul plan is, then I'll know what steps to take moving forward, right? But there's more to it than just that logical piece.
Yes, absolutely. So, because we are ancient and unique beings, and we have just, so much information. We have so many things that we really wanted to do. And so I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to read off for you some of the chapter titles, just to give you an idea about what came through when I channeled it, and how this shows up, so you get kind of an idea. Okay, so we start out with, you were born with a manual, right? Why am I here? And it's really funny to me because I do channel these. So when things come through, the chapter titles came through like with an equal sign. So why am I here equals soul plan. Relationships equal soul contracts. Completed karma equals soul growth. Talents and gifts equal purpose. Past lives equals wisdom. Trauma equals blocks to freedom. Confusion equals misalignment. Ideas equals soul's plan. Collective gifts equals abundance. Soul plan equals purpose. And then there's a chapter on where are we headed. But basically, the idea is that each and every one of us wrote soul contracts, which are connected to our relationships in this life. And also, many of them are, those soul contracts are related to relationships that have karma attached. It's about learning and growing as a soul. And so we plan challenging situations in our lives. We plan to have supportive relationships and challenging relationships. We plan to understand and reclaim many of our gifts and talents so that we can share them with humanity. We really come here because we want to learn and grow as a soul. And the way we have chosen to do that is by creating challenging relationships. And so again, the record keepers often say, you're not a victim. You planned that life. You plan to have that messed up family. You plan to have that challenge. You planned that health issue or to support that addictive person or personality or parent or whoever it is in your life that maybe is holding that energy, so that you can learn, maybe help them heal, and then share that wisdom in another way, in a bigger way, right? So many of us work through our karmic patterns, we learn, we share, we teach, right? We grow, and that is a huge piece of your soul purpose. It's not just a job description. It's about what you want to learn about and share about.
So, when you were reading off the titles of the chapters, right? One of them was, your soul gifts, right, etc. Equals your soul's purpose. Because so many people, they still are asking the question, what are my gifts? What are my talents? What, should I be doing? That path, that purpose, that calling, right? And so, you just briefly described that right now. But again, people, it doesn't necessarily have to mean a big gift, a big talent. Like not everybody has to be on YouTube. Not everybody has to be doing, some major thing out in the world, right? It could be simple as, taking care of family, for example, right? So can you talk a little bit more about, the soul path and purpose, and on also, how do we know when we're on our path, and how do we know when we're not on our path?
Yeah, so great questions. So what I'd like to say about gifts and talents is that, honestly, what I notice is, because we're human, obviously, we ignore our gifts and talents very often. Because we are looking for them, we're ignoring the ones that we have and we're using, okay? So, one person's gift may be to be a phenomenal parent. That is a very, very, very important and valuable gift and talent to have. And you may go on and write a children's book, or maybe you start a baby food company, or maybe you just love the heck out of your kids and just enjoy your life and raising your babies. And that is absolutely enough.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody doesn't have to be a famous something. And so, part of our challenge with the world right now is because there is so much media and we think everybody's out there doing something famous and making $1 million at it. It's absolutely not true. And so enjoying the gifts you have, it may be, maybe you paint in your spare time. Maybe you love to doodle really cool drawings. And maybe, you just hang them up or flip through your little doodle books. Or my kids were the other day up in a little town with a lot of artists, and they stopped by a house where this guy paints and makes cool things and sells them on his front steps,
Yeah. And that's enough. Exactly.
And that's enough. They were so excited to bring home this beautiful piece of art they got for $30 from this guy, and to talk to him and share, that experience. It is enough. And so I have to remind, it's so important to remind yourself that loving the gifts you have, big and small. Maybe you're a fabulous cook, and the people like, I'm actually a good cook. I just don't like it. And so I don't want to cook. And so I so appreciate my friends who cook and invite me over for dinner sometimes, or throw parties that I get to go to, because I don't enjoy doing any of that stuff. I'm actually kind of good at it. My mother was great at it, but not my thing, right? So I love being invited to a nice party with a good meal and all of those kinds of things. So it is important, because it's not a thing. It is not a job. It is not about how you make money. It is really about so many of these talents that we really have, that we said, I want to come back and share this with humanity. And it can be a phenomenal new invention. It can be being a healer or a speaker or an author. And it is always these lovely things that we do in our life every day, like cooking or parenting or sewing or painting or sharing our wisdom, whatever that is. Maybe you're a phenomenal masseuse or body worker or a reflexologist, or, everything. So I think it really is so important for us to kind of, really drop into our hearts and feel the truth of who we are. And really be able to kind of acknowledge ourselves in that way, because otherwise we feel like we're not doing anything. And I've done, Akashic readings for clients who are in their 60s or 70s, and they're still wondering what their purpose is. And the funny thing is often the record keepers say, now your purpose is to enjoy your life. You have done so much work over the last 60 or 70 years. You have been on your purpose. And so kind of to that other aspect of your question, how do we know when we're on task and on purpose? It's really when our life does flow. When things, it doesn't mean nothing bad ever happens, or it doesn't mean that you never have a challenge. It means that in general, your life is flowing along and things are going pretty well and you're generally pretty happy. And we know we're out of alignment.
I think you froze. I think Lisa froze. Am I still here? Yes. Okay. Thank you, Kathy. Yes, I'm still here. So that's good. Oh, Scarlett's having issues with her computer. Oh dear. And obviously I think Lisa probably got kicked out. So we're going to wait for her to come back. But I'm still here. And you're all still here. I know Scarlett's having a hard time. Layla says, I love to create beautiful spaces and beautiful experiences. Yeah. So if that's what you love to do, then that is, and there's not just, we're going to talk about this next probably, but there's not just one purpose, right? Is that what being out of alignment is? When things are not flowing? Yeah, when things are not flowing and you're not feeling good inside, right? So when I was, for example, working in the government, I was not happy, right? I was miserable, so that too, like when you're totally miserable doing something, even though the pay was good, like it was easy, I had no problem doing the work, but I was unhappy. I was not happy at all. So then when I stopped and I started doing the telesummits, suddenly I was happier, right? And yes, I had issues with computers and programs and all that stuff at the beginning, but then it just flows, right? And now it's like, I can do this in my sleep, really. And so it's really easy and I enjoy it, right? That's the thing. Do you enjoy it, right? And so for me, because I had been asking, it's like, okay, well, this can't be everything. This can't be what I'm supposed to be doing here, because I just don't like it. And I even asked people in the government who are like way high up, I said, well, am I making a difference? And of course they said, yes, you are. But it's like, I don't feel like that. So if I'm not feeling it, then I was out of alignment in that position, right? In that job, right? So it was important for me to switch careers, etc. Hopefully that makes sense. Layla said, when I worked inside a building all day from 8 to 5, I was in agony. I need more outdoor time each day. Yeah, I was also in agony because it was a complex of over 5,000 people, negative energy, right? Toxic energy. And so I used to get headaches and body aches and all that stuff all the time. So it was not a fun time, not a fun place. And of course, after I was no longer working in the government, I didn't have those body aches and pains, those headaches anymore. I mean, I remember I would get off the bus and, and walk to the building, which is like 50 feet away. And, my headache would start even before I got in the building. So it was interesting. I think Lisa's back. Is Lisa back? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the fourth time that my computer has totally dropped and blue screened, which means it's just dead and gone.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to buy a new computer. We have rebooted it, redone it, saved all the data. Well, you said you were having that same thing too, right?
Yeah, I lost all my data. My husband says he's gonna try and get it back, but I don't know if it's possible, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, well, we've saved all my data on a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I wish I would have done that, but it is what it is. So we were just talking about life purpose when you're in alignment, when you're not in alignment, right? So I was sharing my story about being in the government, etc., when I was not in alignment, etc. Right. And so we were talking about how, I was miserable, I was unhappy, I had body aches and pains all the time. And, I was looking for something different. And then I started the telesummits and, I didn't have those body aches and pains anymore.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it is one of those things where, sometimes it's about saying, yeah, nothing is working, right? My marriage isn't working. Everyone in my family's miserable. My body is hurting. I also had that kind of experience. I was in advertising for 15 years until I got so sick with chronic fatigue, I had to get out.
Yeah.
And that's, when I went to, healers and acupuncturists, and the acupuncturist said to me, your soul has a message for you, but I can't get it. So go see my friend who's an amazing psychic, right? And of course, what did the friend say? But she said, you're a healer. So, and then I started down that path, but I literally studied healing for almost 8 years, 6 to 8 years. I worked with an amazing healer and then started to hear the record keepers. And then when that door opened, that just really transformed my life. But, again, not everyone is going to be, a big healer on telesummits or a telesummit host or, plenty of people. I mean, certainly people, let's hope that more and more people in communities are doing healing work, are becoming acupuncturists and herbalists and doing energy healing and still using all the Reiki and body work and all of those things. I think it's so important for us to really do that, but in our world, in our communities too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we've gotten so outward focused in so many ways. I'm going to say I think because of some of this, because of the way, because we were stuck in our house and we couldn't leave and we were on YouTube or on Zoom all the time. But the record keepers really are encouraging us to, to know that we start with the small and look for the next steps and the next doors to open. And again, for me, the Akashic Records is the phenomenal way to do that, where we can ask, is it in my highest and best good? Is this part of my soul plan to do this work, to be this, to take this step? So we're not kind of randomly studying 90 things and none of them are hitting. Right?
Absolutely.
It's not quite the plan. It's not quite the thing, right?
But some of us like to study lots of things. I know I like to study lots of things, but so I've been now doing the telesummit for 10 years, right? But sometimes I have inklings like, oh, I think I want to go on a different direction. I want to do something a little bit different. So does your purpose change, right? In this
Yeah.
lifetime, and obviously in other lifetimes, it's our purpose, the calling, our purpose, what we do is different, right? I mean, overall, our soul's plan is to grow, evolve, expand in consciousness, but
Right. Absolutely. So, the record keepers always say, if we did only one thing, we would be so bored, right?
Yeah.
So our purpose is, and it does change and grow, usually for most of us over time, right? I couldn't have written a book when I was 20. So kind of the joke on me, right? And I always figure I'm a pretty good example, because I was very awake as a teenager, right? I was studying everything I could get my hands on. I was studying philosophy in college. And then when my second best friend died, I just went off the deep end and went down a rabbit hole and just went for partying and traveling and making money. I mean, that was like, what the hell am I here for if my friends are gone? And I would look back, and when I started accessing the records, I kind of felt a lot of guilt and shame about that part of my life. And I said to the record keepers, I probably could have been a teacher, a spiritual teacher in my 20s. And here I am just, kind of going back and studying in my 30s. I threw 10, 15 years away. And they laugh at me and said, you would not have the compassion. You would not have the kind of the human wisdom. You would not be as non-judgmental as you are, because you don't feel you can judge people because of all the crazy ass things you did in the 70s in California, right? And so it gave me really, a pause and a way of re-looking, in a sense, at my life, and realizing that all of the pieces and the learning and the work, I spent 15 years in advertising, like I said, all of that is valuable to my life and to what I do today, because it gives me a bigger perspective. It makes me very compassionate and non-judgmental. And I had to learn to work through a lot of my shame and guilt and judgment and garbage that is kind of common for in the human world, right? And so it was about, kind of that continuing growth, which we do, kind of in cycles and circles and spiraling up. And, like I said, I studied for almost 8 years to be an energy healer, and I absolutely use it through the Akashic Records. But it seemed it was a different path. I had a healing center here in San Rafael, where I live in California, and did that for years when my kids were little, and was a mom and raised kids. And, so I think it's important for us to know that, again, it really is a whole life journey. It's never a destination. We're never done.
I think that's true. We're never done. Right. And yes, we can always change our focus, our mind, our attention based on what is lighting us up in the moment, right? So today, if something is really exciting me and interesting me, follow that and then see where it goes. But of course, if sometimes we want to know for certain, so it's like, let's go into the records and find out if this is for my highest good, because what if it's not, and I'm just wasting my time? But even, right, even with that, I find sometimes it's not always a waste of time, because you're always learning something. It always right. adds to your life. But sometimes we do want to get that clarity and information and guidance from the Akashic Records. But we definitely have more than one purpose in one lifetime. Right?
Absolutely. So to me, when you learn to access your own Akashic Records, it's an ongoing conversation. And you know this because you've taken my workshops.
I have.
And it's something we use on a regular basis, daily, very often. Certainly I do daily, but I think that not only in the beginning, we can go in and ask all these big questions that we have, and who have I been, and what have I done, and what are some of my gifts and talents, and to see and feel and be able to energetically reclaim some of these gifts and talents from other lifetimes, to know and experience kind of that bigness of you, right? That you're so much more than, just this little body, little life, right? Which is, such a short amount of time compared to the infinite lives and everything we've had. So to really be able to have those kind of experiences and ask about, is it in my highest and best good to take this workshop, or maybe this one, sometimes it's there's a bunch of things I want to do. What's in alignment with me now or first? And so having that guidance, but to me, part of this whole soul plan, understanding your soul plan, is really about kind of having that bigger picture and understanding maybe why we picked a challenging family or a physical challenge, or some of the other things that we have in our lives that may send us into kind of that space of victimhood. And so when we can understand that we also have a purpose to help rebalance masculine and feminine energy, or to help end abuse on the planet, or to help bring some new ideas or inventions to humanity, we also have some big purposes that we may play, maybe a small part in, but most of us have some bigger purposes too. So again, it kind of plays into this whole aspect of, it's not one simple thing. It's not like you're going to, learn Reiki and do Reiki for the rest of your life. Again, you'd be bored. But part of that purpose is maybe working with other women to help them step more fully into their divine feminine aspects and empowerment, or to help to be a therapist and help say married couples rebalance masculine and feminine in their lives, so that they can actually help to balance divine masculine and divine feminine in a higher frequency energy, right?
Yeah.
So we're really multi-layered, dimensional in a lot of these ways. So being in the records, which is of course a high frequency, when we go into the Akash, we're going into source energy, into this beautiful high frequency, into, the vibration of love and forgiveness. And then we're really able to see, feel, notice, experience this in so much of a bigger kind of way that we can start to bring that into our body and into our life, into this world, right? In multiple ways.
Absolutely. And one of the main reasons why people like to go into the records is to find out about their past lives, right? And the thing is, when like the gifts and talents and abilities that I have now, right? Some of them I've had in other lifetimes as well. So some of the like the work that I'm doing now, I've done in other lives maybe in a slightly different way, but I was still maybe a communicator, a teacher, etc., right? Doing healing work, etc. So our past lives, they do affect our present life, of course, absolutely, because of like karma, etc. But at the same time, we bring some of those gifts from the past into our now to help us evolve and be of service as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. So, again, when you go into the records and you say, show me some of my past lives in which I could really fully embody some of the gifts and talents and purposes that I want to share now, show them to me, and then help me reclaim that memory, that energy, that, code or pattern or blueprint, however we want to call it. It's an energetic shift of bringing that energy from, that other lifetime 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago. Doesn't make any difference. You're in the quantum field doing it. And then you can bring it into this now moment to have and use. And and of course, in all honesty, I like people to understand that, we are still embodied in these physical dense bodies. And so even when we can do this, which is phenomenal energetically, it wakes up some of the gifts and talents. It actually empowers what we already have. So when I started accessing the Akashic Records, even though I'd studied as a energy healer, really kind of more studying energy medicine and such, my gifts, my healing gifts or talents, or however you call them, were really stepped up. They really were upgraded, because now I'm in the quantum field of the all, in source vibration energy, in the highest frequency I can access. So kind of in a sense, we're moving from just bringing healing energy down into the third dimension to us actually being able to move up into the 8th and 10th and 12th dimension and do the healing work from there. And to me, I mean, that's the phenomenal gift of accessing the records. You're moving into that energy and vibration and energetically working from there, which is so much more powerful than just trying to bring the energy down through you.
Yeah, I agree. And so it's a powerful time for all of us, because we can more easily now access the records, right? Get that support, get that help, and access our past lives, access our gifts and talents, abilities that may have been dormant. We can, they're now becoming more online. We are becoming more, what's the word? More on, so, and without forcing and pushing, if you just be your authentic self and just be you, like somebody said in the chat, that they're just being I am a simple homemaker, and just by being, I guess I'm doing my work. Absolutely. The more that we can just be ourselves, be our authentic selves, we have more access to more of who we are, right? And as we access more of who we are, there's more that we can do in the world if we want. But it's not about the doing, because as you become, as you awaken your authentic self, you automatically radiate that out to everybody, right? So you don't have to do anything. It's doing through you, right? So, a little philosophical thing there, but anyways. So the Akashic Record.
Important. Yeah. I mean, that's so important for us to realize too. And again, then you throw in that divine timing, which we started talking about in the beginning. And then we realize that when we are able to be that authentic self and be the beer, doors also open. And sometimes that shows up. It might be a project. It doesn't mean that we just sit around and meditate all day. We're doing things, but we're more being. And then we can do the work that shows up because we're open and aware and conscious of it when that door opens or that project opens up, or, and it's happening just more and more. We're moving into a time of a much easier manifestation as the vibration rises, and as we consciously help raise our vibration by doing this kind of work, by clearing old low vibrational emotions and trauma, by dropping our old story and learning to access your own Akashic Records, because that in its own right, I'm going to say, raises your vibration like nothing else on the world does.
Absolutely. And that's what it's about, right? It really truly is about us raising our vibration and frequency. The more that we can do that, the more that we are being present here as our authentic self, and being able to do the work that we came to do, whatever that happens to be, whether that's being a homemaker, whether that's being a wife, whether that's being, a corporate CEO or just a corporate cog in the wheel, whatever. But you being you 100%, without all those limiting beliefs and patterns and stories, right?
Right,
So
right.
speaking of stories, etc. So we have a lot of stories going on, right? So as everybody knows, I obviously have some soul contract with my husband that I would going to support him for a couple of years as he goes through his spiritual awakening / health issue, right? So we have this soul contract, we have vows that we have made in other lifetimes. We may have made vows that are in other lifetimes that are still relevant right now, that we are still affected, that are affecting us, or we are upholding in some way, right?
Yeah, right.
And none of that is bad. And I just really have to say this one thing, because it's been bothering me for a while, but I just have to say it. So a lot of people, and no offense to anybody, there's absolutely no judgment, but a lot of people talk about they're having narcissistic spouses or narcissistic people in their lives, or like challenging relationships, etc., right? Which is fine, right? And the thing is, from those challenging relationships, that's how you grow. That's, like you made that contract to have that challenging relationship so that you could grow and evolve. So, I don't blame my husband for getting sick, and almost dying and etc. I don't blame him for that at all. But it is a contract that I made that I would support him, right? So, and I'm honoring that contract, not just because I love him, but it's like, oh my God, I can't imagine, whatever. Anyways, right? So that was something I made beforehand, because this was a big life event, right? That has affected both of us. And so, let's talk about that for a quick second, right? About the soul contracts and the vows. So obviously I made the vow to support him, to be there for him, at this time.
Yeah, and we do this in so many ways in our lives, because most of us write somewhere between, say, 30 and 50 soul contracts with people. And so when we make vows and we say, I will love you forever, I'm always a little, kind of iffy around that one, because forever is a very, 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 very long time. And so I'm kind of a fan of making a contract for a lifetime, right? So, of course, my poor husband, I've been married for 32 years. And if he goes, I will love you forever, I'm like, please don't.
Yeah, but the thing is, we can love a person forever. Does not mean we have to be in a relationship with them forever.
Right. So, these are the things. It's like, yes, I love you. You are my soul family. We have been together hundreds of lifetimes. We were brother and sister in World War II. We died together in Italy. So interesting things to learn in your Akashic Records. But we write a contract. You obviously wrote a contract to support Robert, to be with him, to love him, and vice versa, and to support each other. And a support contract can include, whatever that piece is. So obviously I'm not in your records, but what it feels like is that Robert had a contract to awaken, and sometimes we pick weird ways of doing that, because maybe we're not as proactive or able to do that in what we might think of as just, I'm going to start reading some books and wake up, and so, for me, it was an illness also. For me, I was awake as a kid, and then I went back to sleep in my 20s because of trauma. Mm-hmm. And so, we can talk about trauma as a big piece of what has blocked us as humans, because when we get stuck in that trauma, when my two best friends died when I was a teenager, and I felt abandoned and lost, and like I had, I had no purpose anymore because my friends were gone, and I knew I had come to do something with them, and now they've left me. And so F off the world and just, I'm going to go party. And, that was my human reaction. And it took a lot of years for me to kind of be like, well, maybe that's silly.
I agree totally.
And
That's the thing. So we have to look at that for ourselves, right? Like, look at your relationships, look at some of the things in your life. Is that a soul contract that you made? Is that a vow that you made? And of course you can find that all out in the Akashic Records, but start to think of it in that way. It's like, maybe I made a contract or a vow to learn something or to support this person or something like that. It's not. So basically what I'm trying to say is, you're not a victim.
You're not a victim, right? You could look at this like you're being punished by Robert's illness, but you're not. You have come to support him. He has come to awaken and support you. And we know that he will, support you tenfold as best he, when he can, as soon as he can. And I'm sure he does in his own way now and did before, right? All of those things. So as we can start to look at it in that other way, like, oh, well, this is an interesting support contract. Didn't quite expect it to work out this way, but oh, well, okay. Apparently my soul had a plan and I was oblivious, and we are oblivious. Otherwise, I don't know that we could face it. If you knew.
Right.
Sometimes people are like, how come I don't remember everything? I'm like, you've all died so many gory times. You don't want to remember all of that. We don't want to know everything. It would be terrifying if you knew, all this stuff that you were going to do in your life when you were 10. Because it would be inconceivable, right? If I knew at 5 that I was supposed to write a bunch of books and speak and travel, and that, I might have shut myself down and given it all up right then, because I would have been, I can't do that. How could I ever manage that? Right. So again, divine timing. And
absolutely.
Because I was just going to say, we can rewrite contracts and things too. And I think that's very important and valuable for people to understand, that we can say, this contract is done in my records. It is time for me to move on. Right. And sometimes that happens in a marriage or a relationship. I had a very interesting experience. My first marriage, I was only married for like 2 years, right? I've now been married for 32 years. But it was about, for me, it was about support. And what I realized is, I cannot save you. I can support you, and I've been supporting you, but I cannot save you. You need to save yourself. And for me, it was a huge lesson as a healer that I'm not here to save people. I can do everything I can do, especially energetically, working with clients, this and that. But people, we need to understand, learn, grow, drop our own story. We need to save ourselves with the help of and support from other people. So to me, that was a great gift and a blessing that I could learn that at 30. And then go on and of course find my soul family member and my husband, and go on for another 32 years in a happy marriage. And that doesn't even mean that it was always easy, right? It doesn't mean it's all bliss. I would never lie and say, oh, it's just been blissful. It's been a great 32 years, and it's had some definite ups and downs, right? As you're having doing the little roller coaster thing too. But, it is, we didn't come here to live in bliss. We would have stayed in the 12th dimension if that's all we wanted to do. Yeah.
We came here to learn, to grow, to evolve, to have different experiences. Absolutely.
And to have these human experiences that we don't have in the 10th or 12th dimension.
Yes, we came to have these human experiences. Absolutely. And sometimes they're difficult. Sometimes they're challenging, right? But at the same time, those challenging ones are the ones that really help us to grow even faster or deeper, or however you want to say that, but they really do make a big difference. So, for me, it's about embracing that, embracing the challenge, embracing the roller coaster, embracing the growth, as difficult as it may be. I know I'm a different person now than I was 2 years ago. you know, I'm not the same. I've also had more of an awakening in myself as well because of the experience, right? So it's like, you know, just find the blessings in the challenges, right? You know, like I always say, I'm grateful that we had this experience. I'm grateful that Robert's still here. I'm grateful for everything, but it's more than gratitude. It's about the blessings that I'm receiving because of it, of the experiences, right? So, you know, there's so much we can experience, so much information we can get from the Akashic Records to help us, to support us, to aid us in moving forward with more ease. I mean, you know, if I, you know, if I would have known, I don't know if it would have made a difference, but you know what, maybe, right? But then again, it's like, it's all an experience. And so be grateful for the experience as well.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So people are wondering if we're going to be doing a process. We are going to be doing a process, I'm pretty sure, right, Lisa?
Yep. Yes,
yep.
Absolutely.
So before we do that, I just want to talk a little bit about the package that you have for us, and then we're going to do the process. I'm going to do some, you know, live Q&A. I know I didn't get to that yet. It was just there's so much to talk about, right? About this.
Always.
But let me just share my screen quickly.
Because I can't share mine because I'm now on my phone.
That is right. That's right. So that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. We can do this. Give me 1 second, everyone, and just hold the phone or hold the fort. Just hold on. We're getting there. 1 sec. Okay. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay. All right. So this is about learning to be guided by your soul's wisdom, by learning to access your Akashic Records. Lisa, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can. So I will do some talking here. So I have my, I just saw Kim say, I'm a newbie, and how do you access your Akashic Records? And here is your answer, Kim: ask and you shall receive, right? And so I am teaching a live online workshop. It starts on February 27th. So it's at least a month away. And I teach you my 5-step wisdom prayer system that I channeled from the Akashic Record keepers. And so you will learn, really, by accessing your records, you get so many of these gifts that are listed there. It really helps you to open your heart, to understand your relationships, the challenging ones, and also how to heal them, to clear your energy field, to really create better boundaries so that you literally can raise your vibration and align to your soul plan. You know, you're receiving tools in this workshop to help you to clear the karma, and see and release some of these old patterns, to work with your soul contracts, and, you know, to bring some, to help when some of them are already complete. How can we kind of disengage from some of that? And so we talk about all of this, raising your energy vibration. I've been talking about clearing money blocks and vows, and they're connected to our, you know, money issues are connected to our childhood and our ancestral lineage and our past lives, and you know, like the different vows and curses even. So there's so much information for you in your Akashic Records, and, you know, and a lot of this is connected to other lifetimes, because we're bringing our ancient wisdom here and our ancient gifts here into this body. So we really do write our soul plan based on who and what we've been and done very often. So it is it's a 4-week program. I teach you my 5-step wisdom prayer system, the 7 Akashic healing prayers that the record keepers have given us. You can download and print out your easy to follow manual. We do guided meditations for healing and grounding. Says that twice.
That's
Okay,
okay.
I'll have to. And then we also, in this one, we're doing a 16-hour class. I've actually upped it from a 12-hour workshop to a 16-hour workshop so that we have two whole 2-hour sessions, two 2-hour sessions just around me being able to do more healing work for you, answering the questions that are coming up as you're accessing the records, integrating this energy and information, doing, more energy kind of work.
Mhm.
And in the other 6 2-hour workshops is very much step-by-step 5-step wisdom prayer system, practicing, doing exercises, processes, answering your questions also. So it is a 4-week, 8-session class. And there's some of the bonuses you see.
Mhm.
So you can download some of these guided meditations that I'm offering. You get a 25% discount on a private session with me if you want to do that. I always want to support my my students with a special discount. You will able to download Rainbow Shield Meditation, which will help you to be the sovereign of your life, your body, your energy field, really being guided, guarded, and protected as you walk through your life. And then a simple but really kind of profound grounding your kite meditation, because so many of us have challenges getting grounded. And then we have there's Call Back Your Energy, which is a huge meditation I teach. And when I say meditation, most of these are like 10-minute processes so that you can use them with ease every day to start to change the patterns and the energy in your life, in your body. And when I noticed we have the bonus 5 Facebook group, absolutely, but there's another bonus that isn't on there, seems to be missing, is a 45-minute pre-recorded download to clear your clairs, to open your clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience. And you can download and use all of these meditations like as soon as you purchase the program, and you'll get access to all of this immediately. So
Awesome.
yeah, so I've already reduced it from $695 to $444, and there is a special extra discount of $111 if you register, because you're here live with me and Alara today. And so hopefully you have that coupon code.
Nope.
Alara, did I
Nope.
not send it to you?
Nope.
It is.
I do not have it.
Oh, shoot. Because of course it's not. I'm going to see if my computer will start again, because and so I'll get it to you before the end, right before we finish.
Perfect.
And we will see if my computer will boot back up again. And if not, I will call my VA and say, what was that again? Because it's all on my computer and I can't see it.
Yeah, just send it to me and I will include it with the link in the replay email. And
Okay.
I know that we want to do a process, and we're also going to talk a little bit about let's talk a little bit about this first before we go forward. The new book that you just wrote, if they purchase the book, they also get some bonuses as well with that as well. Let me see if I can find that. I have that link somewhere.
Okay, good. And my computer's booting up. So let me see if I can get back to
yeah, it's it's the technical stuff. What can you do, right? Stuff happens and you just do the best you can with this technical stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly share my screen so I can share with you or show you the info about the book, and then we'll go from there. After that, we'll do the process and take some questions. Okay. So this is the Understand Your Soul Plan book that just came out yesterday. I'm sure it's amazing. I know it is amazing. So they can purchase it on Amazon, right?
Right. So the best way to go is you actually, so you want to, and you can see that button that says grab a copy of the book. That'll take you to Amazon. You buy it, you get your Amazon purchase code. And then when you scroll down, you put that in the little box below, and your name, your email, your Amazon,
receipt,
whatever number, and then that will take you straight to the download page where you get to download these free gifts. And the Akashic Record Masterclass is really a wonderful, I don't know, it's about a 80-minute workshop or something I did, really about being the sovereign of your body and your energy field, because it's such an important thing to understand and to be, so that you can be in alignment to your soul's plan, your higher self, your Akashic Records. And also, of course, the Abundance Prayer book, and nice ebook you can download with Prayers of Abundance, the Rainbow Shield Meditation, the Masterclass. And Positive Prime is a positivity program that helps to rewire your brain. And I have an Akashic video on there. And the idea is that you watch some video on whatever you want, whether it's about abundance or health or vitality or business or happiness, or there's hundreds and hundreds of these special videos that have been made. They're not talking. Mm-hmm. They're very different, but what they have actually tested, and neuroscience says that it is rewiring your brain for positivity, joy, health, wealth. It really helps to rewire your brain. So in 5 minutes a day,
awesome,
you are supporting your life and rewiring your brain. So it's a phenomenal gift. It's 30 free days, and it's the whole program, if you belong for a year, is less than $200 for the year. So to rewire your brain for $200 is phenomenal. And so that is all the gifts that you get.
Awesome. So I will put I'll put the link for the book as well in the replay email, etc. And so then they can click on that and purchase the book, and then put the receipt in that field and get those wonderful gifts as well.
Yes. Good. And I have the code for you. So let me tell it to you, and you could just type it in. I do it, but I don't even know if I can. It is Alara discount. So just as simple as that, one word, ALARADISCOUNT.
Capital, no capital?
It shouldn't. He has it in here with a capital A and a capital D, but the capital should not count, honestly. But type it in with a capital A and a capital D, one word.
Exactly. Yeah. So use this discount if you'd like to get an extra $111 off the purchase today.
Making the class just $333 in the one pay. It does not work for the two payments. Sorry, I couldn't make that work. But if you want to buy the class for $333 with one payment, this will work. So
awesome. So that again is Alara discount. Okay, and it shouldn't matter if it's capital or not capital, etc. But so just try it either way. But it's Alara discount. All right. So what do you want to do now? Do you want to do a process? Do you want to take some questions?
So really probably the best thing to do for everyone is if so what I'll do is I'll open the Akashic Records for the group, and we'll bring everybody into the energy field together. And then maybe if you type in what you want healing work on, because I'm not doing readings, I'm not in your Akashic Records. So I'd rather do group healing, because we all have so much of the same stuff going on. So if you type into the chat, and then Alara can just read it to me, and we'll just kind of do as much of that as we can in the next 15 minutes or so.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right.
Okay.
So so type in the chat. I know somebody had originally mentioned something about healing for the throat and neck. So I'll talk about that again when you're in it.
Right.
The eyes.
Okay. Yep.
womb healing, complete soul contracts in this very lifetime and move into divine essence. As I'm going through my life, I choose to live as my soul. Awesome. Healing skin and parasites, restore my appetite. Okay, talents and skills. Sorry, please. Healing to release what blocks my past life talents and skills. Okay. Health problems, specifically fibromyalgia, hold on, arthritis, severe acid reflux, healing on constant misalignment of my spine, hips, and pelvis. Lots of stuff here. Opening to life purpose, gifts, and talents.
Physical. I always kind of say, we'll absolutely, do physical. Weirdly, not my strongest of suits anymore. It's, kind of like the records have so much information that I don't tend to focus on the kind of medical so much anymore, but we can absolutely have the record keepers do what they can for everybody on that physical kind of level, because what I know and what I've found over all these years is that often as we're clearing some of the physical pain, emotional pain from other lifetimes, trauma and drama in that life or this life or whatever it is, that is really what's affecting our bodies, right? So the physical is often an outpicturing of the emotional.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Would love to complete soul contracts and healing for financial abundance. Yep. Discovering and healing karma in this lifetime, healing muscle skeletal pain. Okay, I think I said everything.
Okay.
if I didn't, energetic parasites and how that affects people's skin, but really their aura. Energetic parasites. Sydney says feeling blocked, can't change or move forward. Okay. First of all, don't say can't.
Right.
But I can understand that for sure. Restoring appetite. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Well, let's all sit back and close our eyes and just move out of our head and whatever we're hoping for, right? And just drop down into our heart center, our fourth chakra, inviting our heart to open and expand as we create a sacred heart center. So we invite our high heart, our spiritual heart, which is up by the thymus, also to open and expand, merging and blending with our fourth chakra heart, creating this beautiful, expansive, sacred heart. And we ask the divine lords of unconditional love to help us center fully in this moment as we create this sacred space. Please wrap us in your love and protection and allow us to travel to the highest realms of the Akasha available to us today. Please help as we lay our multi-dimensional hearts open to divine love and release all resistance. Lords of the Akashic Record, please guide us to the deepest truth we can access now. Support us in healing and releasing that which no longer serves on our true path. We give great thanks for your divine love and support on this journey today. Just taking a couple of nice deep belly breaths, allowing yourself to notice what you notice as our beautiful Akashic beings of light encircle us and hold us in their light and love, raising us into the vibration of source energy and the quantum field. And what I'm hearing is we're going to kind of start with, I'm going to ask the record keepers to just help us. It feels almost like a bathing or a washing. I'm just seeing all of this liquid blue light and energy kind of flowing down around our body and right into our crown chakra, kind of washing, clearing, and releasing. And this is the physical aspect. So they're course, as we bring you into the records all together, your record keepers are being awakened and activated and there with you. So we're inviting each and every one of your personal record keepers to help with the physical level healing for each person. And so for the group, this is kind of looking like almost a washing away of the pain, of the energy, of the they look like, some of them look like what I would call like a hot spot, an attention point. And those hot spots often feel like pain in our body. It might be, anywhere. It could be a headache. It could be in your neck or your shoulders or your back or your hips or your knees or your legs. I mean, any place, because it's a buildup of emotional pain and trauma, which often kind of gets stuck in the physical. And then if it keeps getting added to it, it really turns into kind of like a big energy point or block. And so that's what this beautiful kind of liquid energy light that's flowing through you is breaking down. And so it's moving slowly through our bodies, which is just perfect. It's just moving down through our necks right now. It's just kind of come down through our heads. So for any kind of headaches, they're doing a little bit of brain rewiring to help us kind of move out of some of the kind of trauma thinking, feeling in our head, opening, clearing our jaws and our a lot of us have what's that called, TMJ or something like that, and kind of clench, stress and anxiety and clenching of our jaws. And so they're working on our jaws and our all the way down our teeth, our gums, our tongues, all of that down into our throat and our necks, right? Of course, a lot of the back of the neck but also the fifth chakra, and however that is feeling stuck and reacts through into the muscular, into the bones, and down into our torso and our shoulders, our clavicles, our bones that get out of place that affects our shoulders too. And all the way just kind of washing slowly down through our bodies, clearing, releasing, deleting, some of the hot spots and physical pain and energetic blocks and dis-ease in the body. So just down through our lungs and our heart. And of course, our whole spine. And down, of course, into our diaphragm and stomach and whole digestive tract and system. And the way our ribs connect into our spine, it feels like some people have stuck ribs that could be causing some pain. And and all of the organs that are in there that I sometimes remember the name of and sometimes don't, but gallbladder and liver and kidneys and intestines and large intestines, small intestines, all of that. Adrenals. Oh yes, our adrenals. Let's really wash those poor adrenals with all of this liquid blue light. It's really the highest physical level energy of you, this beautiful kind of rich blue. Cobalt blue often is energy, as a body level healing energy, and as that washes through too, and our adrenals, and of course, whether I mention it or not, our thyroid in our neck and our thymus in our chest. I mean, there's too many things to mention, and I'm just not that good with biology. But anyway, I'm just rattling off what I'm hearing. So all of those aspects they're saying too, whether I'm mentioning it or not. And down into our lower abdomen and all of our reproductive organs, and of course into the bones and the muscles and the hips and the hip joints and all of that in the body, all the way to the base of your coccyx, right? That last little bone in your spine, and all of the reproductive organs, male and female, and down into our legs as we're just clearing and releasing and opening the hips. I actually feel, you might find yourself moving or standing or wiggling around a little. I feel our hips opening and releasing some of the stress, and into our legs and thighs and knees, and of course all the intricate aspects of the knees, and healing all of that cartilage and connective tissue and muscles in our legs and our knees and our thighs, our calves and our ankles and our feet, and all of the hundreds of little bones in our feet, all the way down to the tips of our toes, as everything realigns. And now they're actually realigning from the tips of our toes back up. They're going to go all the way back up through our body, up into our ankles, and our realigning. So you may feel that kind of reshifting through the body as we go up through the legs and thighs and back up into the hips and the spine and the rib cage. And of course, this feels a little more skeletal, all the way up into our shoulders and down our arms, elbows and wrists and hands. And our hands are very complex, right? And back up the other hand and arm, and back up into our shoulders and our necks, all those fine little vertebrae in the back, and all of the plates in our heads and vertebrae in our heads, and of course our jaws and our teeth, and all of, you might just open and close your mouth, keeping your mouth relaxed and open. When we come all the way up to the top of our head again, to our crown chakra, and we are filled with a beautiful, beautiful cobalt blue physical level healing energy. And we're just going to leave that in our bodies and put a nice time release bubble around it so that it stays there and keeps healing and working on the body for the next week, they're saying. So that'll just, nothing to do, just let it, just, invite it to continue to work and heal on the physical level, because physical level is a little denser, and we just want that to be able to take time to do that healing. God, and then we are going to do some soul contract work, apparently, is what they're suggesting next. So we're going to start by working with challenging contracts, challenging relationships. So whether it's your family or friends or loved ones or business relationships, whatever relationships they are that have been challenging, the record keepers are suggesting we upgrade and update all of those soul contracts, so that when we upgrade them, it's kind of a nice way to do this, especially with a group from birth to this present moment. Basically, we're saying, let's update it to this present moment. And if that contract is done, we invite the record keepers to burn, release, and delete that contract which has been completed. And if it's not done, especially often with our families, we just want them to be updated so that they see us as, who we are now, not as some little kid when we're 50 years old, right? So updating that, even updating that in, in business, maybe you worked for somebody for 10 years and they still see you as a newbie, and you've been doing this work for 10 years. It's like, you deserve the raise, you deserve the accolades, you deserve the promotion. So we're really bringing all of our soul contracts into present time now, so that they can be upgraded and updated. So just take a couple nice deep cleansing breaths on that note, releasing anything that no longer serves you. And then we're going to go back into our past lives and ask the record keepers to create a nice little bonfire of soul contracts from the past that are really not part of this life, that are not important for you to have or use or do anything with anymore. So they really just burn them up, because they're kind of energy that's stuck outside of time and space. And so when we release it, we're freeing that energy up to be recycled for the highest good of all, and especially for your highest good, because it lets you reclaim a lot of bits and pieces of energy that have been stuck kind of outside of time space, and it's just less of your energy vitality for you. So bringing all of that present right now is super useful. Just letting all of those burn up and release, because they are not valuable or valid any longer. Letting them go. Good. All right, that feels better. And we just want to fill all of that kind of up with your highest Akashic wisdom light and your highest soul energy. So we fill you up. We always want to clear, release, delete, burn, and then fill you up with you. So again, this is helping you to be the sovereign of your life, because the more you are, the more in alignment to your soul path and plan you are able to be. Good. And then let's do a little bit of reclaiming of some past life gifts and talents. So of course, we are asking your record keepers who are with you to reclaim some of the gifts and talents that you want to use in this life from other lifetimes. Okay, so all of your record keepers are going back into these lifetimes. Finding some of the gifts and talents you wrote into your soul's plan. And then we invite them to bring those gifts or those talents, those codes or blueprints that are useful for you in this life, to bring them present right here and right now into your physical body, into your energy field now. We let that integrate down into the body. Expanding. I just see them like little, almost bursts of golden energy, kind of little bursts of light throughout our bodies as we're bringing these energy memories, codes, blueprints present now to support you in remembering the truth of who you are, and to reclaiming and accessing these gifts. And we integrate that all the way down into the physical body on a cellular level. Beautiful. So anything I missed, Alara, that would be helpful to do right now before we close the records? Did that cover it all?
I think that was pretty complete. Yeah.
Okay, good. Just wanted to double check that I didn't miss some big thing, but oh, that's what they're saying. Oh, karmic patterns. Okay, let me just ask our record keepers to go back into your records. Everybody's got their own record keepers in their own records, right? And so I want to ask them to really bring to completion the karmic patterns that are already complete. So they're kind of, a lot of energy just gets stuck out there in the ethers, in a sense. And sometimes, even though we've learned the lesson and we might have completed the karma, it never feels quite done. And sometimes it'll show up again, or we'll call it back in again because we feel like something's amiss. So I'm asking the record keepers to really burn all of that kind of karmic pattern contracts that are already complete. Now, the truth is, you always have to learn the lessons and embody them in order for them to be complete. So we can't just delete stuff you didn't learn. Otherwise, then it doesn't work out that way, right? You can't just, it's again, not a magic bullet, just can't delete stuff you didn't do. Can't get an A for not doing the work. But there's a lot of things we've completed and the energy can weigh us down. So we're going to release, delete, complete all of that energy through all time, space continuum. So again, we're reclaiming the vitality, the wisdom, and the gifts that are attached to those karmic patterns that have been completed, but have just been stuck outside of time, space. Good. Beautiful. All right. And so we ask our record keepers to fill us up with our highest Akashic wisdom, our highest physical level energy, our highest light and soul wisdom, guidance, and energy. So pouring all that beautiful golden energy into our bodies and energy field. We thank our Akashic record keepers for the love and the wisdom and the guidance, and we close and lock our records for now. And so it is. Blessed be. So take a couple breaths and have a drink of water, whatever you have handy.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. It's always lovely to do that as groups, because it just keeps rippling out, right, to all of our.
There's so much that we just all did. It's like, oh my God, I was yawning through the whole thing until the end. There's a lot of shifting. Scarlett said, love that. MC says, thank you. Judy says, cool, awesome, thank you. MC says, was bawling and sobbing at the releasing, then so grateful for the light you added. Bless you. Nice, good.
Beautiful. Thank you. Well, thank you, Alara, and thank you all for, doing this work with me, because it's so important that we know when we do healing for ourselves. Again, to me, this is one of the great gifts of being able to access your own Akashic records. Is you can, as you're doing this work for yourself on a regular basis, you're raising your vibration, and the people around us will either match us energetically and do some of this work for themselves, consciously and unconsciously. They may get on board. Maybe they learn to read the records, or maybe they go to a healer, an acupuncturist, or a Reiki master, whoever it is, right? Or they kind of leave our life and move out and kind of take the heavy old weight with them if they're not ready. And that's okay too. We have to, again, know and own the fact that we're here to do our work, and we cannot save the world. We can help to transform the world by doing our own personal work. And that's what we're doing here today. And that's what I teach you to do in my upcoming Akashic Record course. And so I am so grateful for you, Alara, for allowing me to do this with you and the group. And thank you, everyone, for showing up to do this.
Oh, thank you. This was amazing. I like always, Manisha said, thank you, Lisa. Lots of yawning, a lot of tears, a lot of clearing, wonderful and powerful process. Absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. People are saying this rinsing and bathing in blue has been lovely and liberating. Heartfelt, infinite love and gratitude to all. Beautiful. Thank you, Alice. Yeah, so such a powerful process, and the whole session with all the wisdom. And of course, like, yes, definitely, if you can work with Lisa, get the, register for the workshop, use the code Alara discount to get the $111 off, right? And of course, I'm going to also give you the link for the book, so you can go ahead and purchase the book, and then get the bonus gifts from there as well when you put in your Amazon receipt in the space. So do that. Can we listen again, or is that counterproductive?
Oh, good question. No, you can listen again. I find that because we are so multi-layered that, kind of again and again is often helpful.
Yeah. And I think you said that the healing is going to continue for 7 days anyways, right?
Right.
As well.
Right.
Yeah. So definitely listen again, watch again, to the replay for all the wisdom, all the healing. Yes, I will send a replay. Absolutely. In a little while, with all the links in there. All the discount code will be in there, the links for the program, for the link for the book, all will be in there. So thank you so much, everyone. This was an amazing call. Thank you again, Lisa. We always have so much fun. I really enjoyed doing this with you.
Me too. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone.
All right, everyone. So until next time, I can't even, I'm still out of it. Until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now.